All right, let's get started. Welcome. Oh, wrong screen. How's everyone tonight? All right, let's push this all the way over here. So we're continuing what we did the other day. And essentially, I just want to automate a lot of this process. So we're trying to get it so that the static files, when there's a release that happens on the Near Beach version, it will essentially deploy the static files to that correct place. So first off, let's increase this. The first thing we want to do is we want to enable everything that's going down. So ignore that. Let's go and minimize everything. Let's go into the local. Now the URLs, that's new. We don't need that in here. I'm just going to delete that, move to trash. The settings we wanted. Local settings. All right. So we're scrolling down. We have the static files down here. And what we need to do is we need to send them upstream. So we'll also need to push through the BOTA stuff too. Okay. Alright, let's read some documentation. Alright, so what we need in the settings is we need these particular values, which is fine, we can key them in. So we're just going to copy. We are going to paste them up here, but first what I want to do, static files setup. Hey, sucks. I do believe these will be set in stone. In fact, those three will be set in stone, and I believe we'll keep these as variables. Even though the bucket name we can have as a sort of set in stone sort of thing. But in this sort of case, nah. Yeah, no, not for the moment, because I might need to change that. Right. So, what we need to do is we need the R2 Cloudflare docs. We want the API, we want the S3, we need the authentication. Okay, so we've got the account ID. So that will be, we'll figure this out. Under permissions, choose the permission type. All right. You'll not be able to go and access it after getting copy. Yep. All right. Cool. So we need the client secret and client ID respectively. And then what we need is this. So this will actually change to this, and we need to fill this out here. So we'll need a variable for that. So I'm just going to key some information up here. Required variables. And once again, this will only be set up if we've actually got some variables. So yeah. Okay, what we need. Actually, I'll tell you what will be easier. If I just delete those and I flag these as var, public read. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Okay, I don't think the AWS default ACL is needed, so it'll be like question mark. And this one, the region name. Okay. So when using the S3 API, the region for the is auto. For compatibility with tools, do not allow you to specify region, an empty value US, an empty value and US East 1 will alias the auto region. All right, so auto. So set in stone. Cool. And then, yeah, we'll just need to, this one will be a variable too. So, yeah. Sorry, just gonna stretch. And hey, Nocturnal, how are you? I hope you're going well. We are finishing this task. I finally have enough energy today and I've to finish this task. So, yeah. Alright, so we also want to reference something we've done before. So where did I put it? I think Ocean Suite settings we put it in. So I should zoom in, not zone in, zoom in. So we've done something like this before, which is what we want to do. I went training and I was definitely the nail and not the hammer this morning. Yep. Yeah, no, that was my day. No, I'm trying to lie. I wanted to be more productive, but just my brain wouldn't let me. It's one of those days. Alright, so what we want to check is we actually want to check this particular point. So we want to be like that in that. And then we want to grab all of this. Just keep swimming. Yeah, at least the weekend is here. You know, at least there's that. So, yes. Hopefully, I won't get a release this weekend. I haven't been able to get many bugs fixed. I know there's one bug where I fix that one bug, 2 other bugs will follow rather quickly, and then I'll see, see what will happen next. Okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy these, I'm just going to paste this in, I'm going to be like this, I'm going to be like change, and then like this, and then I'm just going to do this for all of them. Public read, yep, no, we don't want to change that. Don't want to change that. Yeah, I'll keep those two the same. And then this one, I'm just gonna do that as an example. won't need those. So this should be a good start to gain all our variables. And then what I want to do is else, and then I'll make those like that. But in the meantime, I'll also put them up there, but we'll be changing those. All right. So let's break this down. Those are the credentials. Bucket name, that's going to be the R2 bucket name is set to public read so that objects can be pulled from a URL without. Yep, all right, cool. Region name and the endpoint URL should be configured so that Boto knows the point. All right, cool. But we want to collect static there. All right. Okay, deleting an object, yep, that's fine. Django, Boto 3, collect static. Okay, I'm using S3 buckets with Django. I've done this like twice before. I've done this also where I do believe I've gotten this set up and I've been able to collect static. So I kind of want this to happen again. But instead of hitting S3, I'll hit R2. But this time after installing Boto and Django storages and assigning the correct values to necessary variables and settings, Python is still collecting static files to a local directory on my computer instead of the S3 bucket. Lowers my settings. Ooh. We'll also need to change this, I think. Alright. I tend to define my own subclass of S3 Boto 3 storage that uses and static directory equals that. You'll just change this to your path. All right. Static storage. So we've got down here static URL, static root. Okay. I think I just need this static URL, which will be this URL. All right. Let's see what they've done. So static URL, static root, static files. All right, from Django, from storages backend Boto, import that. Location is settings, static files underscore location. Now we don't need to worry about media files. Custom static file storage. Config custom storage is static. Can use OIDs as dirt. AWS location. All right. Usage. There is only one supported backend for interacting with Amazon's S3 Boto 3 storage. Based on the Boto 3 library suite, the minimum required version of Boto 3 is 1.4.4. Most recent. Upload your media files. Set default file storage. Alright. Yep. For anything less than 4.2. Oh, we're using 4.2 now. Storage's default backend. All right. To allow Django admin collect static to automatically put your files in your bucket, set the following. Now, hold on, I've just lost my place. Is that the same code? Okay, static files. That's kind of what we want. All right. Ooh, CloudFront. All right. All right, let's have a quick read of this. There are several different methods for specifying the AWS credentials used to create the S3 client and order that S3 Boto 3 storage searches for them. So we need the one AWS session profile. We don't have that, but we've got AWS key ID and the AWS secret key, or we've got the S3 equivalent of that. The environmental variables and that one, the access key and access key ID. Use default session. All right, that's a bit confusing. All right. So we'll probably use that. If you set this configuration also as of Boto 3, the default signatures used for generating pre-signed URLs is still version 2 to be able to access S3 objects in all regions. Set. All right. Azure Storage, DigitalOcean, Dropbox, FTP. I mean, I don't think I can FTP to my thing. There's the equivalent of Azure Storage. So I'll probably have to rename a lot of this, but that's fine. We'll need the storages in there. So let's have a look. So we don't have storages, that is fine. So what they want is storages. Defining storages. Cool. We will need to cut that out and actually put that up there. So we're just dealing with the static files. The storage is, if you want to something like manifest static file storage, then you must use, all right, cool. There are several different methods for specifying the AWS credentials used to create the S3 client in order that searches for them. So we're using, I think it will be just this. It'll be these two. All right. And then we'll still have the account URL, so this one, and we'll need the bucket name. All right, AWS S3 of that, your Amazon Web Service access key is a string, your Amazon Services secret key is a string. All right, AWS storage bucket name, your Amazon Web Storage bucket name. Yep, all right, cool. Double checking that's going to be the same. Yep. AWS S3 object parameter. This is to set parameters on all objects. To set these per. Yep. All right. Sweet. Default ACL. Default options none, which means the will be private as per default. Use this to set the ACL such as public read. So we do need it as public read. So this is fine. This is all set up. S3 max memory size, default 0. Do not roll over. Query string expire, S3 URL protocol. That's perfectly fine. The protocol to use when constructing a customer domain must be true. All right, easy. File overwrite is going to be true. We don't need to put that in. It's default true. AWS location. AWS is gzipped. Whether or not to enable the gzipping on the contents. Region name. We've set it to none or auto. Auto. That's fine. AWS S3 verify. Whether or not to verify the connection to S3 can be set to false. Yeah. Right. Endpoint URL. Endpoint URL, that is going to be custom S3 URL to use when connecting to S3, includes scheme, overrides, region name. All right. Now we just need the folder underneath. So we might change this to be an F string of this, but with a folder underneath. And do we have import near beach? Ooh, how do we get the near beach version from in here? All right, we've done this before. So import, yeah, all right. So we'll definitely need this. He's a cool. Oh, you're just sitting there. All right, you get on the camera. She's like, hello. She's like, I'm a very important cat. All right, scrolling all the way down, we've done the version down here like this. So I'm just gonna copy this. Uses reference down here. Like so. And then what I need to do, I'm gonna get rid of all of this. I have an F string. And then what I'm gonna do is, sorry, just check my phone for something. Alright, so we need an F string. We need the Cloudflare account ID, which we OS get env. And then what we want is Cloudflare account ID. Like so. Don't know why it's giving me so much trouble doing that. Alright, let's get rid of that then. Let's put that up here. Oh. All right, so if AWS S3 endpoint exists, what we want to do is get the Cloudflare account ID, set up the variables for the, and then we're just gonna paste in this package name. For the Django storages. We're going through all of this. Then we're setting up the storages. All right. And distinguished versions are not backwards, so be careful about the URL endpoints. All right, so we're not using CloudFront. We're not using CloudFront signed. We don't have to worry about these. So what's happening here is from Django core storage is import default storage exists storage file. All right. You can override the default storage class and create your custom storage backend. Below provide some examples of common cases. All right, cool. To create a storage class using a specific bucket. All right, my bucket name. All right. But we've got the bucket name up there. Yeah. Or you. Oh, socks, careful. Location, media, storage files under media in my bucket app. All right. Now, we need to do something like this. So just be careful with my mouse. So what I'm going to do AWS location is what we want. And this is, and I'm purposely making this an F string just to make sure it converts. What did that poor elephant do to you, Socks? Look at it, she's getting vicious. She's like, ah, take that, elephant. Oh, Socks. That elephant came from Thailand. There you go. Oh. All right, so we've got the location. Socks, be careful, stepping on the mouse. get model. An object without a file has limited functionality. Alright, Fox. Now, OS get env. So I'll need to create a env file in here. With those particular things. So I just want to Python. Just want to set this up correctly. Because I might as well read the docs, get it right the first time. Okay, read OS module in Python provides functionality for interacting with yada yada yada. I just want to set up an env file. Env file. So we'll need to copy this. Now I don't know if I need a static URL and a static root. Actually, I'll still need a static URL. I'm not sure about the static root. Yeah, not sure. I mean, this is only going to be used when we're deploying stuff. Alright, so I'm going to copy these. Going in here, we're just pasting them. We are going to minimize them like this. And then we're going to get rid of all of this. For these ones, I don't need. This one's a bit different. I just need to get rid of these. AWS credentials. Alright, cool. So, I need the account ID, I need the secret and that key, and then I need the bucket name and then the Cloudflare account. So what I want to do is I first want to be on the secret screen. So I'm just going to log into Cloudflare. I'm going to create a temporary, just a fake, not a fake account, a dev R2 bucket. Alright, I need the Alright, just logging in. Still logging in. I don't know why this is taking forever. There we go. Alright. Okay, R2. Overview. Create bucket. near beach CDN dev. Create bucket. Okay, so now I have a bucket. And let's read the documentation. All right, was our Cloudflare stuff. All right. So, in accounts home, select R2, under the account details, select manage R2 API tokens, create an API token. All right, so I'm going to be doing that in a short second. Select the R token text to edit your token name. We're going to create a temporary token today, but I will create one which is more permanent later. Under permissions, choose permission type for your token. Refer to permission information about each. All right, create the API. All right, it's available at the account ID, that endpoint. Account ID. All right, sweet. I am just going to go and get my account ID. Overview. Oh God, they've moved it, haven't they? Oh, they freaking moved it. Where's my overview? There it is. All right. So I'm just getting my Cloudflare account ID. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm just creating my credentials right now. So I am going back. I'm going to R2. I'm going to go to Near Beach CDN Dev. I am going to read the instructions. So in the accounts homepage, select R2 under accounts detail, manage a R2 AP R2 all right, go back to R2. Manage R2 API token. So I'm going to create a token. I'm going to call it local dev test. I am going to give it object read and write ability to read, write, and list objects in specific buckets. Apply to buckets in this crown. Apply to specific buckets. We only want this to go to the CDN dev. We are going to give it a week. And we're fine with all the IP addresses. So I've got the access key ID and I've got the secret access key. And then what I want to do, near beach CDN dev. I do believe that is all finish. Near beach CDN dev. All right, cool. So I've just created my env file. I am just going to make sure I don't have anything silly up on screen. All right, now that I'm done, let's go back to this particular screen. So let's finish off where we were. So I've done that. Authentication, we're happy with this. Using Python and all that kind of stuff, I think we like, yeah, no to that one. And So default storages and all that kind of stuff. We've got the static URL. Okay, there's really only one thing left to do, and that's open up a terminal. Just gonna move this over here. It goes. Right, just gonna make that as big as possible. Sweet. All right, so first off, cd into our nearreach stuff. I want to source in our, I do have to set this up. Do have to set that up properly in the near future. So I'm just doing a little bit of a stretch. Python 3, manage, collect, static. Not what we wanted to do. All right, let's minimize everything. So we've got a manage file down here. So it is going to the local.settings. This is saved. AWS and oh no, it won't hit this. We actually now want to check for this. All right, because this is constructed here. So that's why that didn't work. And that's still collecting static files there. All right, so I'm just gonna go print hello world. Don't know if that will work. It does. And then what I want to do, I just want to copy this. Just want to paste this in here. And I just want to false. All right. So another thing I want to double check is making sure I am not missing any code. So we've got path in here, which is used for base directory and all that kind of stuff underneath. Oh, you okay, sweetie? That was a bit of a cough. Check, please. All right. We do have stuff there. Let's just go os get env AWS access key ID. None. All right. It's right there. Okay. os get env not reading .env file. I should make sure I use Python. All right, so we've got, I like to run a local environment with a Python script, which is normally run in Docker. Don't look at the socks, there we go. That specifies env file. All right, so we got something set up like that. Oh, do we need, I use the, just use the library, just install the library to create an env file with the environment variables and import the Now I don't think this is doing, this is what I want. All right, I have, in the same folder, I have an env file, a main, and in the main I have, you'll need to load your, all right, yeah, it looks like, .env. Okay, so this is in the requirements dev file. This isn't needed at all for everyday running of Nearbeach, which that's why we're putting it in here. Isn't that right, Socks? She's like, yes. 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 No. No. Alright, so if we do this, now we're getting a different error, which is good because we have a pip installed requirements dev. Alright. We should also pip install upgrade pip. Always should do that. I've just tried reinstalling end of output. I don't know why that's happening. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to collect static. All right. All right. Oh. Okay, different error. No module name storages. All right, because I have .env. Oh yeah, so I've got a .env file which I'm reading variables from. That's just for my local. However, when I use GitHub Actions, it will just be GitHub Actions stuff, which will bypass all of that. That's why I put it in here, which it should actually be this file here. So I'll put it in the dev version of that. So it's there for devs, but not needed for everyday sort of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's just for my local. Essentially, I just want to test it instead of constantly sending up files and fixes and stuff like that onto into code. I want to get it sorted on my local first. All right, so this one's done. We now need to do this one. We have totally forgot to actually install this. Yeah, I might be extremely exhausted, but I finally make sense. That's a thumbs up. I just realized that the lighting made it look really sus. There we go. Alright, now I've just got to do this storages stuff. Django storages. Install, there we go, Django storages. And what we're going to do is we're going to also shove it in here because this is a dev sort of thing. We just want to pip install reading from requirements dev text. All right, and now we want to collect static. And now I can't see past Socks's head, so I'm going to have to go over here. So your request to collect static files at the destination located as specific in your settings. This will overwrite your existing yes. And whilst that's happening, I am going to delete this statement. This might move her now. Definitely will. She's like, eh? What? What? In your bed. Sweetie, you're getting treats. She's like, what? And hello, Togglepit! Welcome, welcome! Ready to run, needs food. Yes, alright. Perfect timing. I am talking about food, giving my cat Socks food. Trying to... oh, anyway, hop in your bed. In your bed. No, the treats aren't in there yet. And welcome, welcome everyone. Alright, in your bed. Okay, there you go. Oh, and Max is also here getting treats. There we go. How is everyone? I hope you're going well. Yes, she is one spoiled kitty. I'll give her a couple more treats. Because we also got a raid at the same time. I better put the treats back on the shelf. And yes, welcome everyone. I hope you're going well. Thank you very much, Togglebit. That's okay that you need to run. Food is very important. Welcome, Joe Pan. How are you? Welcome, Temporus. Welcome, welcome. 9 names. Yes, she's a really good cat. Bribed to go into bed, one spoiled kitty. Yes, I did actually at one point have her understanding that command. And she did used to run in her bed and sit in it. And nowadays, what she does is she goes, all right, so he wants me to go to my bed. And she puts 1 or 2 paws in. She's like, I'm in my bed. Get the treats now. So she's getting to that, naughty stage. So, just a little explanation about myself. I am Robotic Head. I currently work on an open source project management system called Nearbeach. Here is the production version of it at the moment. So the idea of Nearbeach is you can create Kanbans, projects, requirements, tasks, and even new requests for changes. Naughty stage or typical cat stage. Yeah, pretty typical. I'm not gonna lie. So yes, I'm currently working on this. This is built using Django and Vue.js. So Django is the back end, Vue.js is the front end. In the last couple of months, we have been working on getting this so that people can install it using Docker. So yep. So tonight we are working on a problem where we've got a CDN. This is just our dev CDN, so it's fine sharing this information here. We've got a CDN which we want to automatically collect our static files and put them on here. So the idea is I'm editing the main source. So the idea is when you do a release, some Github Actions will fire, which will essentially collect the static onto the CDN. And thank you very much for the follow. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce your name. Deturska, Daedro, Noctum, Yashard, and Noct4. Welcome, thank you very much for the follows. No Nearbeach command. Oh. No, I don't. Ah, damn. All right. So for those interested in the source code, so there's there's my repository, not repository. There's my little profile. It's meant to put in github.com /nearbeach. So there it is there. If you're interested in, there's the site. I've got the usual stuff. So yeah, welcome. So yes, to get this automated and so forth like that, I'm using a package which is built off Boto called Django Storages. Now, because I'm using Cloudflare, I'm sorry if this gets a little bit convoluted and confusing, because I'm using Cloudflare's R2, I've got to use the Amazon's S3 stuff. which is why in here we've got AWS, all the AWS sort of stuff, but this works perfectly fine with the Cloudflare stuff, or it should. We got to this stage here. I don't believe I got to type in yes. And we're just hoping it works. So the idea is, if this works, we will start, sorry, I've got way too many tabs open. We'll start seeing files appear in here. Fingers crossed. And it is. All right, so we've got 0.30.3, which is our current version. So the idea is we've got the Near Beach folder. We'll have the admin folder once this has finished uploading everything. And then we can start working on the GitHub Actions. So yeah, for those that don't know, GitHub Actions are a great way to sort of automate certain tasks when certain conditions trigger it. So for example, you might want to run unit tests on every single push. So you can set it up so it does that. You can set it up so, in my case, when I do a release, it will collect the static files for that release and deploy. And I'll slowly move this back up so you guys get to see Socks some more. You'll notice she's a bit naughty sometimes. She'll see the camera and just decide to sit in her bed. Alright, there you go. Turn off the bright light for you. Alright, this is still going. We'll just go back over here. And I'll hit refresh. So I'm really glad that this worked quite easily. So we got 26.57 megabytes. I think it's all up. It's going to be about 37 megabytes. So we've got all our JavaScript up and running. We've also got our zipped JavaScript. Oops. All right. I'm going to assume that is working perfectly fine. So let's jump into our, and I just realized something and I do apologize. I should, oh yeah, this is streaming profile. This is our collect static files GitHub Actions workflow. So what we want on release types is published. So essentially, when I've got a little checklist when I start doing a release type of thing. So we'll be opening up that document shortly. Just make sure Socks is in the screen. And updating it with the new information. So what I want to do is have this trigger on a release. So our job, we are calling it test there. If we actually have a look at this one over here, jobs, we've got that called analyze. So what I want to do, I want to call that deploy. Runs on Ubuntu latest strategy, max parallel, just one. It doesn't need any parallelization whatsoever with this. The matrix Python versions 3.11 is fine at the moment. I think 3.12 got just released. Let's actually have a quick little look on the web. Let's hit downloads. Or, oh, it's a pre-release. All right, yeah, October. So we'll keep it at 3.11 for the moment. So the steps, we're using Actions Checkout version 2. So a lot of, I've copied and pasted this from somewhere else. So we can test this locally. However, I am going to be pretty confident that this will work perfectly fine. So I might get rid of some of this. So that will be fine. install dependencies, upgrade this and this. Actually, we will need to change this to our dev branch. Requirements, dev. So for those that don't know, so if we go to our requirements text file, there it is. I can actually get rid of all of this now. So this is just a little simple file being like, all right, cool. For NearBeach to run, I need these particular libraries. However, I've got a dev file that's like, hey, for NearBeach dev, so your local dev file, I'll need these packages as well as those from the requirements. So because this actually requires stuff from the dev package list, we're just saying, just read the dev one. It'll actually install both of them perfectly fine. So I'm gonna clean up some of this. So I have a thing called apt on my computer that is meant to run these particular files, but I'm pretty sure it'll run perfectly fine. Is this bug closed? All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this, gonna delete this. So name, set up Python. We should, gonna delete the matrix. Gonna delete that. Gonna make this as simple as possible. And then I'm gonna have 311 here. All right. There's no need to actually make this more complicated than it really needs. So we've got the Ubuntu latest, the steps, we've got the actions, checkout version 2, we've got setup Python, actions setup Python version 2 with Python version 3.11. All right, sweet. Install dependencies, so we're running in to install all those dependencies and so forth like that. And then what we need to do, name, collect, static files. So this will be very similar to this, but we just need to pass down some variables. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into here. So we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. Actually, we need this, these four. So I'm just going to copy them all. So I'm going to paste them in. I am going to say env with a colon. And then I am just going to reference elsewhere how I've done this. Okay, it won't be a problem. I'm just going to get rid of this. Actually, keep that in for the moment. I don't know why. Name, and then I need run Python manage collect static. All right. So I just need to, these need to be like this. Okay. But I need to know how I'm bringing these files in. I think it is this. So I'm going to reference what I've done in the past. There you go. Yeah, it is that. Definitely that. And then what I want to do is I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to bang, bang, Bang. Sweet. Just going to copy and paste those in. Now, how have I got... I've got secrets dot. Okay. So this is how GitHub wants it set up. So easy done. We just do something like this. All right. Secrets dot sweet. Nope. Secrets dot. That should be simple enough. Okay. Now, I actually, whilst I'm doing this, I do kind of want to test this on my... Oh, I don't think that will work on my local. Okay, I'm just thinking how I would want to test this and so forth like that. I don't know how I would store the secrets on my local machine. We could read the documentation very, very quickly. How does it work? Act, yep, runs the Git flows. The environmental files and the file system are configured to match the GitHub provides. Act depends on Docker. All right. So, yep, we don't need to install it. We got it installed. It took us a little while. Manually download examples of the code. Act, list all the, all right, act. List the actions for a specific event. Act pull request. Act temp artifact. All right. Lint. Run a job in a specific workflow unless you have duplicate job names. Run dry mode. Enable that. At GitHub token equals insert token or leave blank to mint. Oh, okay. So that's how I get the tokens and all that kind of stuff. I have a feeling this might be best testing after stream. My secret equals some value. To run act secrets, you can enter them interactively and supply the environment variables or load them from a file. All right. Oh, I could just do it from the env file. Sweet, I am going to do that. So first off, let's do act list. Let's go back to our terminal, which has a bunch of, oh God. My terminal just crashed. Hopefully that's not affecting stream. All right, sorry about this. For those who don't know, technology crashes around me quite often, or just wants to break. All right, it's out. It's out. So clear. We're in the right folder. Act list. I am using a okay, container architecture. Error loading. .env expected character. And thank you very much. I am just going to destroy that token. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry. Love when this happens. Manage R2 tokens. This is getting destroyed. Local dev test. I did spell that correctly. Thank you very much. There we go. All right. So yeah, just gave out my credentials, you know, no biggie. All right, so it didn't like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna vim the env. I am just gonna delete it and I'm just gonna get out of it. In this sort of case, that's fine. I already leaked those credentials. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild those credentials right now. So just give me a couple of seconds. I'm just creating my token. I want this as a local dev test. This needs to have object read write. This I am only applying to one bucket, the nearbeach CDN dev. I want it only accessible for 24 hours. I'm just creating that token. Let's copy this. I am going to edit the env file. So the AWS access key ID and the secret access key is being updated. Everything else is staying the same, but that's perfectly fine. That information is quite public. So I've just finished. I am going to quickly rerun my test. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go back to here. And I will, so we've got two GitHubs, essentially, two GitHub workflows. So we are actually after this one. All right, we want to test this one. So if we go back to the documentation, which is over here, list the actions for a specific event. All right. Run a specific job. All right, so we want to act J test. So we want to act J collect static files. It's going to complain. It's going to do nothing. All right. Let's just do that. It does nothing. Act pull request. All right, cool. Act release. So we're just testing this right now. It's doing its thing. Collect static files / deploy. All right. Failure, main setup, Python, execoded one failure, version 3.11 with Arch ARM 64 not found. The list of available versions can be found here. Oh. Oh. All right. .3.11. Release candidate 2. Okay, that's a bit weird. but not a problem. This is why we test. So we're rerunning the act release to trigger this. We're just going through the whole thing. It's doing job failed. All right. Let's just copy this. Wow, my terminal is super slow. That is a problem. We can use new 12s. I just want to see 3.11.4. Okay, let's try again. Right, I am just gonna turn down this heater. Oh, come off it. What? I'm really confused. All right, let's go back to this page. I'm going to zoom in for everyone just in case someone could actually spot something straight away that I can't. So we're actually after Mac architecture, which the Arch ARM64. Wrong one. So I'm just going to go all the way up to the top again. So this is 312. This is 312 beta, 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 alpha, 3.11.4. 3.11.4. That file is saved. It's ARM64. x80, x64, x64, x64. We don't need any of that. Platform Darwin, platform Linux Windows 32, Windows 32. Oh, this is not good. Error version 3 with Arch 64 not found. 64 not found. Well, there it is. Alright, you're using Apple M series chip and have not specified the container architecture. You might contain an issue when running. Try running. Let's just run it with this at the end. Alright, bang, like so. Let's hope for the best. We just need this up and running. Okay, debug check. Is available for downloading. Downloading. All right, cool. No such file or directory. Open. Temp. Yada yada. Waiting 13 seconds to try again. Ugh. Oh, 18 seconds before trying again. Oh, this is going to fail, isn't it? It's probably going to work. Hopefully going to work when I upload this. I don't know why this is failing. Because if we have a look at the code QL analysis, what we've got analysis, Ubuntu latest, languages, JavaScript, Python. Yeah. Okay. Don't know. Failure. All right. No such Okay. So it looks like I won't be able to test this locally. Okay, that's a bit annoying. Anyway, excuse me just for a minute. I will be back very shortly. Here is socks. I'll be right back. Oops, I'll just keep this on the screen. Sorry about that. Do you mean my cat? Sorry, I'm not on the conversation. Anyway, I'm back. I also tripped over a bucket of water, so sorry I took a little longer than expected. And welcome, Scotty B, or Scott B. Welcome. I don't know why this isn't working here. I have a suspicion that it has to do with the fact that I'm doing this on a Mac. What I'll do is I'll push this to my Linux box and hope for the best. So what we want to do is let's just clear, get status. All right. So we've modified the settings, we've modified dev, we've modified requirements, we've added that one particular file. We want to remove the static stuff because we don't need that. All right, so we need to git add everything. So git commit initial automation of the static files, deployment. And git push. All right. My feet are still wet. Out of a room with a lot of space to walk around, I stood on the one place where there was a bucket of water. So, yeah. At least it was in the laundry, and it was... I hadn't done the towels yet, so they were all over the floor. Hopefully soaking up all the water. Alright, so I'm happy with that at the moment. So that's just been pushed upstream. I should actually go git branch to find out what branch I'm on. I'm on the main branch. Ooh, I mean... Didn't want to be on the main branch. I'm being a bit naughty. Alright. So that's fine. That's not a problem. So, next thing we want to do is we want to update our documentation. Now, I'm just not sharing my screen for the first couple of seconds, just because it's in Google Documents at the moment. This will probably be migrated over to Read the Docs, so that way it's more open. What I do. Okay, that's loaded up. There we go. What I want to do is I want to fit this. I'm just closing tabs. Closing tabs. That can be closed. 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 We didn't need that tonight. All right. So we're just going to update the documentation here. So this will eventually, we'll get rid of most of this. Shut and deployment. So a lot of this will be with processes that I do. So currently what I do, git main branch, so that git pull in the main branch. So we pull in, yep, remove the build folder, remove the dist folder, yep, update the version number in the init file and the packages JSON file, compile the JavaScript into production mode, yep. Do a shakeout test, make sure everything's working correctly. There's been a couple of times where we've had a page not load the JavaScript correctly, and we've done a recompile of the code and it works flawlessly. Please note this needs to be done in Cypress.io in the future. Yes, we need to automate that. We don't need to edit the setup file and update the version number, but I do want to put in here, because edit the setup.py file if there are any new packages that need to be downloaded in the Docker file. Actually, near beach. Cool. And thank you very much, Scott B, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Procedure. So I'm just renaming this. So pip/deployment procedure. So yeah, I do actually have read the docs. So one thing which I will hopefully get done on the weekend, I've got a long car trip tomorrow to Geelong. So hopefully in that, I think it takes 3 hours to get to Geelong. Hopefully I'll get this updated somewhat. So the installation of Near Beach will now focus on the Docker method instead of the old middle as a service type of deployment process. The simple development environment setup will stay the same. The setup development environment, I probably will get rid of this one, because you really just need the simple development environment. Alright, so the installation of Near Beach will move to mainly a Docker installation process. I'll put this under a different folder, but I want to include procedures in here and stuff like that. I should also get rid of some of these not so needed packages. However, this one is quite useful. Alright. So yeah, Nearbeach has been around for a while now. Back in 2020, August 2020, I decided to delete 95% of the code, or how much percentage of the code. I should have deleted all of it. So yeah. Anyway, going in here, where was I going? Oh, this. So a lot of this will move into that. So after we're going to get rid of this one line. Edit the setup file if there's any new packages that need to be downloaded in the Docker file. These will need to be updated here also. So we had a problem a few weeks ago where the Docker wasn't working properly on our Azure environment. Turns out we needed to put that particular library in our setup PY. Currently running the correct version of virtual environment. Yep. Make sure all packages in the virtual env are up to date. Follow these instructions, which we will actually yank from over here. So what we need, take note which packages need to be updated. There is a better way of doing this. I know. I'm just copying this. All right. Like so. So there might be a better command out there, which I do know there is. I'll keep it like this at the moment. Run the following command to set up the dist file, to run the following command to upload the documentation, upload the application to PYPR. And thank you very much for the follow. Pretty basic, sorry, I just can't tell. I keep seeing basic, and then I see Kaker. Thank you very much for the follow, Pretty Basic. Welcome. Do hope you enjoyed the content. So, after we've run everything, what we need to do is we need to, first off, share my cat. She's like sitting back down, being like, oh yeah, I'm good. We need to make sure this is black. We need to push the code. Oh, this is all in bold. Push the code back upstream. Ash omics. Oh, yeah, possibly. Ash omics. Okay, pretty basic ash omics. Yeah, I like it. Thank you very much, Nocturnal. So push the code back upstream. That's okay. Maybe my name is Akash. I do hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I do apologize. I'm terrible at new names. So push the code back upstream. Create a new release. This will trigger the automatic deployment of the static files to the CDN. All right, cool. So the next step after that is we have another GitHub file. So we've actually got another repository called Nearbeach Docker for anyone interested. Essentially here, what we have is the workflows around building Nearbeach for Docker itself. I've tried writing up as many the instructions in here and so forth like that. So that way people can understand that the reason why this is a separate repository is I don't want to keep the code base completely messy with a bunch of different Docker and files in there and all that kind of stuff, whereas I'll extract this out so that way this repository focuses just purely on Docker. So we actually can get rid of the Docker old very soon because the Docker base and Docker file system is working a treat. So the Docker base is essentially the base components that I need for Nearbeach to work, where the Docker file is the latest Nearbeach sort of stuff. So the Docker base itself actually runs a build on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. To which, if I do a release, it'll hopefully have the latest packages in there. So instead of making it run every hour or something like that, making sure, oh, this has got the most up-to-date sort of stuff, I think 3 days maximum sort of waiting for an update will be perfectly fine. There are edge cases to this, I fully understand. So if there is a 0-day exploit, we want to actually have the latest files in there, in which case I will have to add in the ability to run that action manually. Now, the Docker file, the GitHub Actions. So if we go to the GitHub workflows, we've got the Docker base, so that's what I was just talking about. It runs on those particular days. And then this one runs when there's a main push on the branch. And this is what I want to fix. So I kind of want this. So at the moment it's done like this because I purposely go in and I update the version and then I push that. And that's fairly easy to do. Yes, yeah, you can. I do kind of want to set it up like that, but I'm also thinking instead of having to edit these files, so what I would have to do is I would edit this Docker image and I would update these values in here. And what I want to kind of am thinking about doing is having that as a GitHub variable, or finding out some way of getting the variable number from the latest version of Nearbeach and just pressing a button and having it do all its work. So that is one improvement which I want to do here. I would prefer the latter. That way I can automate all this and just say, go make sure that the latest version is appearing at this particular address, and then push. Or manually run this Docker image, which would be very nice to do. But I don't know how to do that. So, back to researching. So, GitHub, PyPI get version of package. Find out which version of the package is installed. Is an elegant way to find versions of the package. There's an XML RPC interface. Let's import that. Server roundup, server package URLs roundup. And that's all in Python. Alright. Don't think that worked. We're going to release distills you. To PyPI for short-term future, it contains distills which lets you search PyPI for Python code and set up programs, which is kind of in progress, but here's some examples of the API reference. Yeah, that didn't work. So PYPI API get package latest version. Right. How does pip determine which version of the stable version of the package? For example, the current stable release of Django is 1.7.5. Holy hell, that's a long time ago. What is this? All right, cool. So, what I want to do is I want to automate this number. So you know how at the moment I'm manually going and like, all right, I've got to update this value and then push the code up again. So I want to do that, but have that value automatically grab from PYPI. And another thing which I want to do is I want to see if this will actually have two tags in here, so that way it doesn't build twice, and it should take half the time. Because currently it's building again here, just with this tag. So I am assuming I can place this up here. Now the alternative to this is I can easily create a Docker Hub. I can create a Near Beach version in here and then just manually update it and have it in the instructions, but it'd be great if I can automate this one little tiny step, just to remove that little bit of human error. All right, so, but when I go to PYPI, JSON API, let's see if this is still running. So latest serial. Let's actually go into Near Beach. So we've got this all up, class, yep, description, downloads, last day, last month, last week, -1. Oh. But I've moved stuff to Docker, so it's explanatory. Does the command line CLI have the info? What do you mean? If I go over here, let's say I Python 3 manage shell. Oh my god, this is slow. Import Near Beach. Wow, this is really, really slow. Alright, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna kill the terminal. That is nowhere near ideal. Oh, okay. Yes, I'll answer the Django question in just a couple of seconds. All right, cool. So CD sites Near Beach. This is a lot faster now. Source chunks bin activate, and then what I want, Python 3 manage shell. So in here, if I import Near Beach, I can go Near Beach version and get the correct version. As for why I picked Django, so going back, oh god, years and years and years ago now, I was using PHP. So I have a weird sort of development cycle. So I started out in maths, where we learnt C. From there, I learnt C++ and was doing a couple of database applications. I then went into essentially what's now called data science. So I was doing a lot of data and all that kind of stuff. I then went into IT. I wanted to sort of migrate my learning over into web development. So I started doing that. I was using PHP. Now, the thing is, due to my knowledge of C and C++, I knew several different exploits, which we were told to always avoid when writing an application because it's a really simple exploit. So, for example, SQL injection. So as learning PHP, I realized very quickly just how much documentation on the internet is completely and utterly terrible, to the point where I am like getting really angry, being like, that's not how you properly do anything. You can actually cause escape variables like this. I read up more on PHP and realized that you have to use the _real for cleansing that data. It got to that point where a lot of the documentation was just not safe. And remember, this is a long time ago. A lot of this has changed. I've used PHP with Laravel and I absolutely loved it, and so forth like that. So this is a long time ago. We're talking like PHP 4. So what I did was, because I knew Python, I went Python Web Framework. Into Google, I essentially got Django as the first one. And I think I went getting started, and I did the tutorial. I can't find the tutorial. Getting started, tried the tutorial, and within like 10-15 minutes of actually doing the tutorial, I realized that I can use Django to build out the image with it. So that's the reason why it was mainly just a Google search. The reason why I use Vue as the front end is because I essentially just knew Vue better than Angular and React when I rewrote this. I don't think Svelte was a big thing back in 2020, but do correct me if I'm wrong. I did not know about it back in 2020. So yeah, that's why. Otherwise, I don't have a preference for languages. As you probably already know, I know C, C++, I know a bit of C#. I'm currently scratching myself up with, I've got a secondary project which I will be building soon, just to teach myself .NET properly. I know PHP and so forth. I've used multiple different frameworks, so I've used Angular, React, Vue. As for the JavaScript frameworks, I've used Django, Laravel, I've used WordPress and Braco. So I've used a lot. Alright, so in here, version. Okay, we'll need to get down into there. We don't want releases, we want required disk. Oh, no. Just minimizing everything. Collapse all. So we need info. And then version. There it is. All right. No, we can't get it like that. That was just too hopeful. Wait a minute. Info. Nah, all right. No one's done anything clever like that. Makes sense. Yeah, you're right. Svelte just came out in 2020. I'm in love with it now personally. I have never worked with Django before then. Yeah. Highly recommend just jump onto, if you've ever worked with Python and stuff like that, essentially that learning curve is pretty much gone. Because you know how to set up a virtual environment, you know how to do this, you know how to do that, so a lot of it's literally just following instructions and being like, okay, cool, that's how you do this, that's how you do that. If you used another, I was about to say ORM, and they're not ORMs, model view controller. If you use other model view controllers, you'll be surprised how much of that information is ported from that model view controller over into Django. They have basically the same ideas, so yeah. I like to say the difference, if Django and Laravel were cars, Django is an automatic car, Laravel is a manual. So yeah, there's a lot of things that Django sort of automate for you, which is nice. Alright, so what I've got to do is get the version out. Alright, so let's go into the base. We've done something similar in the Docker base file, where we've gotten this. Oh, hold on a minute. So I could potentially use something similar like this. So this gets this. In this sort of case, what we need is near beach / underscore init under pi. But we don't have the version number. All right. All right. So. Let's see if Bash can do something. So Bash get Python library version. Anyway, give me a couple of seconds. I'm just going to grab a drink of water. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. All right. How to is get Python version with Bash script. I actually want pip freeze grep. Oh, all right. Let's bring over our terminal. So if I exit, so pip freeze will give us this. If I pip freeze and then use grep near beach, it doesn't find it because it's not in there, but it should be in here. Okay. Okay. GitHub Actions. Set variable. How do I set up an environment at, just wait, oh, the method described in this answer is now depreciated. Use this other answer. Let's find out first. How do I set up an environment variable in GitHub Actions on a Windows server? All right, this is our Windows server though. So run command, yeah, set the code page to that. All right, echo branch name equals. Oh, okay. So what's happening here is we're echoing the branch name equals, and then we've got the environment GitHub replace and so forth like that, and then environment GitHub environment. So I could probably use this to get what I need, because the version itself will be contained in the NearBeach file, which we've just installed. Okay, let's figure this out. Let's move this back over here. Let's open up this. Let's open up that library. So we want to go open up recent. We want NearBeach Docker. Over here, what I want to do is I want to cd into our, let's deactivate, and cd into our sites and NearBeach Docker. Sorry, Socks is literally in the way, hence I had to do that. She's right here. She's like, hello. And then what I want to do, I don't want to edit the base because the base is fine. I do, however, want to edit this, but I don't want to push anything. Now, these platforms I'm going to get rid of because they're no longer needed. These are the only platforms we're sadly supporting at the moment. I did want to support like Raspberry Pis and stuff like that, but the Azure code won't let me. It's one of those things where I might need to essentially figure something out in the future. If I wanted to actually, you're going to touch that, and then you're going to come back here and be like, oh yeah, I'm on camera. Sorry, what am I saying? I'm going to need to put the ARM stuff back in later. So I'm going to clear all this at the moment. So that's fine. We're going to run this locally anyway. So what we want, bang that in. We want a name, testing, getting the version number. So over here, we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it in. We are just going to bump it up like that, and we are going to just do that. But I'm going to make sure that there's that there. Now, I'm trying to remember, does run on here at this level? I think it does. So, run. So what we want is echo. This is branch name. So in this sort of case, what I want to echo is, don't want to do any of that stuff at the moment. I just want to go pip freeze grep NearBeach. That's all I want to test for at the moment. Then what I want to do is at list. So we've got a schedule and a push. So we just want to go act push. So it's going to pull the latest stuff. It's going to do all this stuff. So what's actually happening when I'm doing this is it's installing Ubuntu latest. It's using this. It's setting up this. It's doing the checkout sort of stuff. It's logging into Docker Hub with the username and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that locally, so it might fail. But that's fine. We'll comment out that later. Setting up the build stuff, and we just want to set it up like that. So what I want to do is I want to set up a environment. Yeah. Yeah, it failed this one step. So we're gonna comment that out. We're just gonna run it again. Invalid step 3, run a missing key. Whoops. hoping nothing fails. The joys of waiting. Job failed. Error occurred. 0, 0, 0. Alright, I'll tell you what. We are going to keep that line deleted. I'm going to write in a new thing. So I am going to copy, paste, rename, temp, flow. All right. QM actions. I don't need any of that. Then run. Just wait. What did we call in this other thing? I'll just paint that over like that. What I want to do is I want to reference this. I'm going to keep it over here. Okay, so what we not want is, we don't even need that. We just need name, test, and then after the name, we want to run, and then we want to echo pip. Do we need to install stuff? GitHub Actions, GitHub Actions, triggers. Created, deleted. Requested, completed, check suite. Create, delete, deployment status, discussion. Okay, I'm just picking a random one. You know what, I can just copy it up here. On discussions, let's get rid of this. Yeah, cool. So act list. That one should appear now. Act discussion. So it does the hello world. All right, cool. Let's pip freeze. Don't think this will work. No, it didn't work how I wanted it to, because it needs to be in, I think, these. Yeah, unexpected token near pip, so. All right, so my plan of attack using the variables and stuff like that won't work. Okay. But this is why we play around with stuff. So what we could do, docker get pip version. All right, there might be a way. Install pip in Docker. No. How to upgrade pip in a Docker file? No. Docker get Python library version. How to check whether Python package is installed or not in Docker. All right, cool. Figured it out. Docker X container ID pip list. Damn. All right. Docker execute, and then this isn't a Docker file. All right, so what if I copy this, paste this in, name, build and test, Docker, all that kind of stuff, context, Docker file, we're not gonna push. So push false. All right, platforms, we want 64, not AMD 64, just because I'm on the Mac. And I might as well test out one thing right here. Near beach 030.4. All right, this is 3. Actually, we should do 033 local test. All right. So I'm testing 2 things here, whether or not I can actually do that like this and then have 2 tags compile into one, which will save me time. I will also am testing to see if I can run something. So what I want to do is this, and I want to bang this in and go execute command, run command, but build push action. Yeah, so it's using buildx. Secrets, push, manage tags and labels. So straight off the bat, tags, generate tags based on the following events and attributes. All right, that will, I need to read that later. Export to Docker, cache management, local registry, shared built images in between jobs, named contexts, update inputs, outputs, image inputs. It's no, all right, run. Network string, set the network to run instruction during the build. All right. Don't think I can in this sort of case. Don't think I can reach into that Docker file whilst it's finishing its build and then add in up here. Yeah. Might be quicker and easier just to edit this one file to actually just have that as a variable which comes from GitHub. The secrets, and then I have near beach version. And then key in my documentation, update the near beach version in the secrets file, or the variables file. Yeah. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. GitHub CLI get release version. GitHub API get latest release version. So use the REST API to create, modify, and delete releases. I don't want to create. I want to list. Get the latest release. Applications, yada yada yada. Your token. Oh, we don't have a token. But what if we? And then we've got near beach. Owner is robotic head. And then it's near beach. Not found. Not found. All right. Damn, I need the yeah, the bearer token. I mean, that might be possible. All right, going back up to here. If I do this, paste that in, grep name, I just mucked that up. All right, grep name, all right, grep name. All right, not what I wanted. Great if I could. Yeah. So I'm going to have to think about this. But at the moment, I think I can at least fix that tag thing. I'll just have to do this manually at the moment. That's not going to be a problem. But at least we should have the static files working. I need to test that on my Linux box tonight. Yeah. What's the time? It is pretty much time where I call it. Anyway, let's find someone to raid. Oh, I don't know if White Panther's accepting.